You starting?
Yeah.
Cool.
So hey, welcome to OCRnR. We'll review.
Take it again.
So hey, welcome to OCRnR, where we review and redraw the original characters based on our bad taste. I'm RavenMoodle, your host and artist today, and here's my partner, codename Rook. Say hi.
Hi.
Today our topic is our own characters. We picked a few of our characters today to roast and pick fun at, so that we can prove that we're not above any of the criticism and that we make OCs just as bad as everybody else. So that's our theme today.
Hey, I resent that. My OC is perfection manifest.
True, you're right. That is true. I'm gonna go first. And you've already seen Maddie. She's from my comic that I'm doing currently. She's a runaway from the cursed world, or the world full of monsters from their universe, with her husband Jet. She's a beast class, which is the animal people, and the lowest classes, which is why she ran away. The only magic she has is the weapon she can summon, which is her mace. She's very impulsive. Her first answer to most situations is violence. Jet is really the one that keeps her grounded from acting on those impulses. Later in her story, she ends up having 2 kids, Silver and Gray, but then she gets murdered. And that's all her story.
Oof.
Yeah, spoilers, she gets murdered.
You win some, you lose some. Sometimes you're the main character of a story, or a main character of a story. Sometimes you're a tragic backstory.
Sometimes you're the tragic backstory, and that is what she is. You can, yeah. Thoughts on her story?
I like it. Really quick, she wasn't. I think she came after the children. Is that right? Or
After
you made
the main story?
Silver and Gray? Yeah.
Yeah,
You
she's
made
the...
Silver and Gray first, and then you came up with the parents for the prequel?
Yes, I designed them based off the kids. The kids were designed first.
Okay.
You can tell... Can you tell the family resemblance?
I can tell the family resemblance, yeah. I like, more so than that, even just based on the design, you can kind of tell which kid takes after which parent.
Yeah, she has Silver's eyes. Well, Silver has her eyes, where he's got the big black pupils and then the pink... or purple on the outside. He's also got the multicolored hair from his mom. Speaking of her design, she is always standing on her toes with those her feet kicked up because she's got kind of weird structure to her toes, her legs. I think you can kind of see in the picture where she's not wearing. Yeah, she doesn't really have human feet. She's got little claws going on.
I actually noticed that.
Yeah, so she's always on her toes. I do think her silhouette is just kind of okay. The only part that I like about it, that I think stands out, is that she's got these really pointy ears, which are pretty distinct from the top of her silhouette, but everything else is just kind of basic person.
Mm-hmm. I do like around her wrists the little tufts of fur that she has going on.
Yes, she's fluffy. I wanted to make her more animalistic than just a cat girl.
You wanted to do more than what the Riot design team at League of Legends does?
Yeah.
Just
a
more than
woman
that.
with ears and tail. I wanted to give her something more, which is why she's got those strange feet and the fluff around her arms.
Put in a little bit more effort than your average anime game. I get you.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I really like it. I also like the eyes. I guess that doesn't go with the silhouette as much, but I do like how the eyes are not just, oh, this isn't a normal color. It also has a different color for the...
Yeah, they're kind of mostly
not the iris,
purple.
not the cornea. Words are hard.
I don't know what it's called either, so the white part.
Yeah.
I like her little shoes have little paws on them. That's one of my my favorite parts of her design is the little paw shoes.
Oh yeah, if you lift them up, would they have toe beans on them?
They would definitely have toe beans on the bottom of her shoes.
Perfection.
I do think the colors though kind of clash. I wanted her to have a repeating color with Jet, which is her husband, and he has the purple and black. I know I wanted her to have warmer colors because she's more of an aggressive upfront character, but I wanted them to have some kind of repeating colors. But because of that, her design kind of clashes a little bit.
Does it? I don't really think it does.
I'm not too fond of the colors. I think they're... I know, I checked the saturation, so they're not all the same saturation. But it kind of looks like it. It looks very muted, I guess.
Maybe this is more of the character enjoyer than the character designer in me, but I don't see that as much of an issue. it just, I don't know. I think all the colors complement each other pretty well,
Hmm.
but don't act, I don't know. I think
Maybe I'm just harsh on it because I don't like her. I do really like the shape of her hair, though. I like how angular it is.
I also really like how it gets tidied up but still keeps the same basic shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks,
She's not like the I'm not feminine kind of girls because she likes her dress or whatever. She just has like a tactical dress.
yeah. And she has like little slits up the sides. She can do like a full split, but also just kick your brain in. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tactical
Hmm.
dress.
It's a tactical dress.
Speaking of the colors that I think clash and you think are fine, um, I don't like the wood on the mace because the color because I wanted to keep her colors really close, right? So it wasn't the palette wasn't too big.
Hmm.
However, I wanted to do something that her mace kind of looked like put together because that's kind of her whole character is that she like picked herself up.
Hmm.
But the wood is a completely different color that it feels like it comes out of nowhere. It's a neutral tone, so it doesn't like clash or anything, but it does feel like it's out of nowhere, you know?
Yeah, I get you.
But I do love the design of her mace so much. It's a kitty head with fluffy ears.
It is.
I spent so long coming up with a good silhouette for that.
And on the back, it's just a stabber.
Yes, she got her jagged knife.
It's just a knife. This part looks good and hurts people. This part just hurts people.
The my main complaint about her character is that it's very obvious that she was made as a backstory or a parent character rather than her own character. Like it really shows.
She has Pixar mom syndrome.
Well, it's because like her story is just I don't know, she ran away and then she became an assassin, you know?
It's fair.
But I her design is clean, I think. I think she's got in the comic I kind of get to like it more cuz I get more I'm drawn in enough at that point where it feels more natural. I really like her roughed up design, like her fucked up dress.
Hmm.
I like the little swoop of her hair that she tucks up when her hair gets fixed.
Hmm.
I
Her
just,
little cowlicks.
yeah, I really like her hair. It's very like put together mess.
Yeah.
For Maddie as a whole, I think her design is just okay. For me personally, I think she could have better shape language, mostly with the hair because it feels kind of flat. But I think the more I draw her, the more exaggerated I make the hard edges anyway, so that kind of fixes it. I feel like the end of her skirt could also be more pointy to give her more of a angular shape instead of like a flat shape, kind of like in the first one.
Hmm.
But I really like the swoopies on her tail. I think that's really nice.
Yeah, I agree.
And I really like her weapon design, like a lot. Like that's my favorite part of Maddie.
I agree with you there. I think the weapon is probably the highlight of the design. Not to say the rest of it is bad.
Yeah, I
Just
agree
from
though.
a, just if I had to rank it, I would put that definitely at the top. I really like how it looks like she plucked her own fur to like accentuate her mace.
Yes.
Um, it fits the colored palette, I think, really well. Um,
The soul
without
weapons
drawing
are like
attention.
created from like energy from like your like your heart's desire or whatever. But it's like it's created from your subconscious kind of. So it makes
Mhm.
sense that it would have fur that looks like it's her fur.
Makes sense.
And I
Yeah,
love her red tipped. That's such a good red, pinky
I
red.
agree. Yeah, I I probably that's my favorite part. I
I really like her
think,
eyes.
yeah, the eyes are really good too. I think overall, I really love the design. The part that I think is probably just the weakest, the story. Not that it's bad, it's just very
I
basic. It's
yeah,
like she ran away, became an assassin, and then she died.
and then
But not
she died.
the most important part about Maddie is the fact that she had two kids,
Yes,
and that are really cool.
she was
But
made as like a backstory character, and it really shows.
yeah.
If I do more with like their comic, because I'm just doing the first chapter, if I do more, I think I would try to expand upon her as a character. I know she's very like
Mhm.
untrusting, but like full like she's 100% or she's not in it at all. So she's like very committed, but also very like I hate you. Stay away from me and mine. Go away.
Yeah, overall, I really like Maddie. I think she's a good character.
I like her also. I don't
Hmm.
think she's the best character. Like there are other good characters in their story which have better designs, I think. But I do like her.
Noxus.
We love Noxus. All right, and you're bringing.
Oh no. Okay. So the character that I'm bringing is a man named Eldamir,
Mhm.
who is a barkeep, innkeep. He is an elf. What I've kind of just gone to describing him as a true elf.
True
It's weird
Elf.
'cause- yeah, it's weird. There's a lot to it.
Oh, that's such
But
a
we'll get there
cool
when we get to.
name.
We'll get there when we get there. Yeah, he is a innkeep who runs the Have Inn or the Have Inn, but it makes a little bit of a better pun if you call it the Have Inn. Um,
It depends
and
on
I
your
made
dialect.
true, very true. I came up with his design kind of on a whim. I was reading the Kingkiller Chronicles, and the main character's name is Kvothe, and Kvothe is really distinct for having like just red hair, but the author Patrick Rothfuss kept on bringing it up over and over again to a point where it was really important. And I was just creating an inn, and I needed an innkeeper, and one thing leads to another. Kvothe ends up as an innkeeper, and I was like, I'll just give a guy with some really distinct hair. So I gave him hair the color of gold,
I love
and
it.
then yeah. I don't know why I chose gold. I could have chose so many other things, but I chose gold, and the design just kind of built from there naturally,
Hmm.
where he has some nice long hair. And, gold is a kind of posh color, so he wears nice clothes and he dresses nice, and maybe he wears gold pants and and it just kind of built there naturally.
And you like
To
have a
forward.
bunch of references for like outfits that he changes into.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Um,
He never wearing
but
the same thing.
no, he wouldn't be seen wearing the same thing twice ever.
Ever,
That's
no. He wears
unprofessional.
it once and then burns
Absolutely, go straight to the trash can.
it.
Fast fashion is a roller coaster this bitch is not getting off of. Um, And now we have like, gold fingernails, do a little bit of sparkle, and the silver eyes. Smaller design elements actually came from you, Raven,
Nice.
where I kind of just was like, he has gold hair and he's wearing nice clothes and with a lot of bright colors and gold pants.
I
And
liked
I
the
gave that
warm
to you.
colors, so I gave him like the sun design on his shoes.
Hmm.
He very bright man.
Yeah. Anyways, now for all the criticisms for the design you created. No.
Here's why I think it's bad,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah,
This
thanks so much
specific,
for drawing him.
the baggy shirt is just too big, but I think that's just because I drew it in a bad way.
But no, I think the design is pretty good. I think the weakest part is probably the outfit, but that was before we really had a good idea of his, stylistic taste.
Yeah,
Now it's just like, okay, nice clothes and
nice
some
clothes.
bright shiny pants,
I like
which is
that he
good.
wears disco pants.
I think so too. He does have disco pants. They don't have sequins on them, but I think that is the only reason you didn't choose to draw sequins is entirely because of how much effort that would have taken.
Oh, and I forgot they existed.
That'll do it.
But he's got like the bell bottom jeans. For sure. He's like,
uh,
fantasy world, don't mind if I still jean.
Just wait till it's summertime. He steps out of that inn with those jorts, those bright gold jorts.
Not the golden jorts.
Yes, the gold jorts. They're just regular jeans, but I cut up all the way up to jorts length.
I had to put him in that sleeveless neck covering overshirt.
Absolutely.
It's my bias. I love it, and it looks so good on him.
Yeah, I'm also a big fan of how the design turned out.
Hmm.
I'm a little more satisfied with his story solely because I came into that with a better idea
Tell me about it.
of what he was. Yeah. So Eldmir is old, like really old. I imagine him.
Gilf? No.
He's huh?
Gilf?
Shut up. I kind of went into it with the idea of what if, like, some ancient, eldritch, unknowable being of incalculable age and at one point power decided to settle down and just become a nice little barkeep.
I love that.
Um, yeah. So from a quick rough over run of the story, um, there was a world. He was there. The world is no longer there, and
Oh,
he just, yeah. When things started going south, he took his inn and left.
he took his
Um,
in and left.
he took his inn and left, yeah. And now he just goes from place to place and just shows up and he's like, all right, sets up shop for a little bit. We'll hang out there, and then if someone happens to visit him, they get a real good meal, a real good drink, and a real good place to stay for the night. A little
Hmm.
bit more to it than that. You know, obviously there's a bit. If you take like a million years, I'm like, yep, he used to live in a place and now he travels. Kind of leaves a
That's
little
it.
bit out, but that's kind of the general idea. Like I said, the King Killer Chronicles book was a bit of an inspiration for the idea of a tavern keep with a grand, ancient backstory. But also, I just wanted a character that I could use more than once. I
Mm.
was like, an inn that can appear on the road and can also just appear anywhere I want. And that
Anywhere and
was,
ever.
yeah, that was a bit of the impetus, and I kind of thought of, Hal's Moving Castle, of an inn with more than it seems, and also the name Haven,
Can the inn
and
change
also
appearances?
the inn can change appearances, yeah.
Like on the outside?
Mhm.
Could it grow legs? Can his inn walk around? Like
I
Baba
don't,
Yaga?
I didn't think if I didn't imagine, I imagined it was more of a magical thing. I've never stopped the thought if you could change the appearance and just give it legs. Is the Haven a transformer? Good question.
Yes. That's how it changes the number of rooms it has.
Obviously.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
like
he
him.
is. Thank you. He is still very much a work in progress, even from the design standpoint.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I haven't really I have a bunch of ideas for outfits. I have ideas for other little details, but I haven't really set the character in stone yet. But I think as a character who's, just to start with, I'm a big fan of him.
I like that he's got the very distinct character trait of golden hair. You always want to have like one thing that's like really interesting, right? If the rest of your design is like kind of flat or whatever, you want to have one point of interest, and it's great because it's his head, which is where you want to draw attention. So he's got
Hmm.
like this really shiny hair, and it's like magical because it's like gold and sparkles, and it's just so cool. Because the rest of him just looks like a guy, like wears nice clothes, but he's just like an elf guy, right? But he's got
Hmm.
like this magical golden hair, and you're like, whoa, that's interesting and unique.
Yeah. And it also helps 'cause there's a bit of a contrast because instead of just also making the eyes gold, having them be like a bright silver,
Mm-hmm.
so helps pull the eyes up because instead of there's all of the warm colors and then there's just the cold silver there to
Mm-hmm.
kind of help make that the eye trap,
Die trap.
which if he could change his appearance, I'm sure he would have done on purpose.
I like that he have eyelashes.
Mhm. That too. He probably wears a pretty decent amount of makeup.
Oh, as he should. He's beautiful.
He's got to hide all those wrinkles from being old.
Uh, he is so very old.
Mhm.
I really like his story. It's really interesting.
Hmm.
He's just like he's not like the main character anymore, but he like is there for everybody. The ultimate
Yeah.
support character. The ultimate support character that could kill you.
Yeah, he had his whole shonen character arc, and now it's the sequel series, and he's not the main character. He's just a background character. He's like, yo,
Yo,
that's him.
yeah, he is that
Mhm.
guy. Can you come out of retirement and help me? No, do you want a beer?
I don't do that anymore. For like $100,000? No, did I stutter? No, I
Did I
don't do that
stutter?
anymore.
I own my own business. I don't
Yeah,
need your money.
I don't even take money at my end.
He just goes and gets his own materials because he can go wherever he wants.
Hmm.
I like him. I think he's cool. I think he's a great character. And I think you're really good at writing interesting characters.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
And I think all his flaws come from my bad design.
I don't think that's true at all. My all of my skill comes in creating characters, and none of it is in designing characters. I couldn't design my way out of a box. I kind of just took a bunch of ideas and was like, how can I tweak these and make them mine?
It worked really well. I like that the two characters we brought between Aldemir and Maddie is Maddie has a really uh, relatively strong design, but then like a really really weak story. And Aldemir is like he's got the really strong story, but then his design is like still a work in progress.
Hmm.
I like it. They're like opposites.
Funny, it only took he's here or he's been working on it a million years and his design is still a work in progress.
From our
Or however long.
perspective.
Yeah. It's just a sign that character growth is a lifelong thing.
True. I don't have an intro or anything set up, so or outro. I don't have an outro set up.
Leave your answers in the no.
No, that's copyright. I mean, not actually, but
It's associated with someone else, so it might as well be.
stealing other people's content. Don't mind if I do. No, we'll eventually set up like an email so people can submit their OCs, but for now we're probably going to take the first couple episodes are just going to be people that we know.
Mhm.
But that was it. That was all. Just a nice review and a nice speed draw. Except for the fact that I finished the art of this one before we talked about the characters, so the art being drawn is the art that we're talking about. But that's
That's
not
fine.
that's not what the rest of them are gonna be like.
Fix them in post. It's fine.
Yeah. And that is all for original character review and redraw.